Welcome to Amica at Aurora. For the next few minutes, we will go through the orientation process required to access the site. The contact information for the project manager, the superintendent, assistant superintendent, foreman, and the site coordinator can be found inside the builder's trailer on the south side of the job site. Here you can see an outline on the site, showing areas like the muster or emergency point, the first aid station, along with fire extinguishers and eye wash station. Around the edge of the outline you will see the surrounding streets, the curb to property line, the temporary site office, the sidewalk closure spots, and the overhead walkway cover. The emergency plan for the site is very straightforward but very important. If you hear an air horn blast 3 times, you must immediately evacuate the site and proceed to the muster point for a head count and further directions. The muster point is located on Tyler Street near the hydro pole labeled muster point. It is on the south side of the site, just outside the main entrance. Any injury must be reported both to your foreman and the site super as soon as possible. The nearest hospital is South Lake Regional Health Center in Newmarket, approximately 13 minutes from the site. A map or direction sheet for the hospital is provided on the Health and Safety Board in the builder's trailer. There is to be no smoking in non-properly ventilated areas, for example the parking garage. Cell phones are not to be used unless it is necessary, and only used in a safe place where you will not be in the way or in danger. You always need to be aware of your surroundings, in and around the site. If you hear the crane's alarm, look up and move away from the path of a live load. Always keep your workspace in a relatively clean state for your protection and the safety of others. All materials, tools, or equipment must be in good working condition. Any items that are not fit for use will be removed. Always remain tied off near open areas, or if you're 8 feet above an area or platform. 3-point contact at all times if a ladder is being used, and please abide by all warning signs and signals. The Health and Safety Board is located in the builder's office with all emergency contacts, information, and locations. Succession Development Corporation believes that we are accountable to provide a healthy and safe working environment for our employees, contractors, subcontractors, and everyone involved. To fulfill our obligation, we have set workplace standards for health and safety based on the following philosophies. The health and safety of our employees, contractors, and environment is an important element in the success of our business. Our health and safety program will be used to ensure that workplace incidents and their severity are controlled. Management, employees, and contractors must be proactive in workplace health and safety is cost-effective. Succession Development Corporation strives to provide all employees, suppliers, contractors, and visitors with an environment free of workplace violence. Mutual respect must be the basis of interaction, cooperation, and understanding among all staff and/or contractors. Succession Development Corporation will not tolerate or condone behavior that is likely to threaten the health and safety of any of our workers or contractors. This policy applies to all business operations and personnel as well as social events that are organized by or on behalf of the company. Acts of workplace violence can take the form of either physical contact or threat of physical contact. They may occur as a single incident or may involve a continuing series of incidents. Abuse in any form destroys worker confidence and lowers workplace morale. This, in turn, reduces productivity and can impact quality of life. Workplace harassment is defined as engaging in a course of vexatious comments or conduct against a worker in a workplace that is thought reasonably to be known as unwelcomed or workplace sexual harassment. We do not accept any acts of workplace violence or workplace harassment and bullying, whether it is verbal or physical in nature. This pertains to all interactions between workers on site, security, public, and all visitors to the Amica at Aurora project site. Workers in violation will be removed from the site immediately and permanently. The trade contractor shall ensure that all workers must be fit for their duties that they have been hired to perform. Intoxication due to or possession of alcohol or drugs will not be permitted on the project. The use of prescription drugs is permitted as prescribed by a physician, provided that it does not affect the worker's ability to perform job duties safely. The trade contractor must ensure that the SDC construction manager is notified. As for noise, no work shall start on site before 7 a.m. Trades on site must adhere to all local bylaws regarding noise and trucking on or off site. No radios or music on site. No personal use of cell phones is permitted on site. Smoking is permitted except for near or around combustible materials or chemicals where signage is posted prohibiting smoking, or inside any structure including washrooms. All workers on site must have the following certificates or tickets in their possession at all times: working at heights, 4 or 5 step workers awareness, a valid WMIS, certified trades must have Ontario College or Trades card. All workers using specialized equipment, like forklifts or scissor lifts, must have valid training certificates. All workers or suppliers will be required to attend a site orientation before accessing construction areas. Hard hats shall be worn on the site at all times, as well as reflective vests or shirts. CSA certified steel-toe boots shall be worn at all times, and no shorts. All sleeves must be a minimum of 4 inches. All workers must sign in and sign out every day. All foremans or supervisors must verify their head count by 8 a.m. All workers coming to site must have completed the SDC site-specific orientation, and all trades must coordinate orientations 24 hours before a worker arrives at site. If the worker is present on site and has not been orientated, they will be asked to leave the site until the next day when the orientation will take place. One long blast of the horn means evacuation. Report to the assembly area or the muster point. 2 short blasts of the horn means all clear and you can return to work. 3 short blasts of the horn means first aid or emergency assistance is required and all workers must evacuate the site. Please report any unsafe conditions and accidents immediately to your supervisor or health and safety rep. If for any reason you are unable to get your supervisor or health and safety rep, please report to the site office. Please note, 911 calls are to be made by SDC management. Workers shall only call 911 in the event of a life-threatening situation when SDC management is unavailable. And please be familiar with the use of horns, only in an emergency. All trades will be responsible to provide a copy of the MSDS to the SDC site trailer before any WMIS products are brought on site. Hot works permits are required for all hot work and all precautions outlined on the permit must be adhered to. Hot work permits can be obtained from the SDC site office. The length of time for which the permit is valid is up to the discretion of the site superintendent or his delegate. Any trade contractor performing hot works must have a permit displayed at all times. All workers performing hot works must have a fire extinguisher readily available in case of a fire. Fall arrests must be worn by a worker if there is a risk of falling more than 10 feet, if the worker can fall into water or other liquids, if there is an immediate hazard below the worker regardless of the height, if a worker is operating or on an elevated work platform, or if a worker is near an opening in floor or a work platform which is not protected by a guardrail. Fall arrest equipment shall be inspected and documented by the worker daily before use, and all damaged equipment shall be tagged and removed from service immediately. All workers are responsible for cleanup in their respective work areas. For example, cleaning up any personal debris such as lunch containers or wrappers and placed in a garbage receptacle immediately once finished. All work areas shall be swept and kept free of tripping hazards, including tools, workbenches, electrical cords, and more. All guardrail systems will consist of a top rail, a mid rail, and a toe board in accordance to Ontario regulations. If guardrails must be removed for any reason, workers will report to supervisor before removal of guardrails. Area must be signed and taped off. Workers shall be tied off before guardrails are removed, and guardrails shall be reinstated before worker removes tie-off protection. Please report any missing or damaged guardrails to your safety rep and or SDC safety rep immediately. No worker shall connect, maintain, or modify electrical equipment unless the worker is a certified electrician. All electrical extension cords used at a project shall have a ground conductor and at least 2 other conductors. A lockout-tagout procedure must be prepared by the trade contractor to ensure the health and safety of all workers affected by lockout-tagout of a potential source of energy. Yellow caution tape. Only use yellow caution tape when warning workers of overhead hazards or a hazardous area due to work. Yellow caution tape must be removed when hazard no longer exists or work is completed. Worker may cross yellow caution tape, but are reminded to use extreme caution. Red danger tape. Red danger tape is to be used for access restriction. No worker shall cross the red danger tape or enter an area barricaded with red danger tape. Red danger tape must be removed when the hazard no longer exists or when work is completed. A worker shall carry his or her proof of training while operating a crane or similar hoisting device. No worker shall operate a crane or similar hoisting device that is capable of raising, lowering, or moving material that weighs more than 7,260 kilograms, unless the worker is certified as a hoisting engineer under the Trades Qualification and Apprenticeship Act. Safe procedure must be filled out prior to crane or boom truck setup, and before commencing work, the swamper and operator shall review signals and review work. Parking on site is prohibited and will result in the worker's vehicle being towed at worker's expense. It is up to the trades to make arrangement for their worker or visitor's parking. All vehicles parked on site are considered parked at your own risk.